Hi everybody, in this video I am going to make a kilt. I have never made one before, but I have been looking up information on kilts and how they're made. And one of the things I was really amazed at is that they said for an adult it could take like 8 yards of fabric to make a kilt. And I have no idea where all that would go, unless they have extremely intricate pleating. I was able to look at one kilt made in Ireland, and it was really a really nice one, very impressive. However, I don't know that there was 8 yards, and so mine will not have 8 yards. I can't exactly show you how to do it because I've never done it, but this video will basically show you my thought process in how I'm doing it, why I'm making the decision that I'm making, and the thoughts I have and the conclusions I come to, they don't always make sense. And looking back on how I've done things in the past, it's a wonder that I know how to do anything at all, because I don't know if my logic is the same as everybody else's logic, but I do what makes sense to me. And so that's what I am going to do in this video. I looked up as much stuff as I could find. And then, you know, some people do it this way, some people do it this way. I will pick and choose what I want from what I've seen. You know, I might like the way they pleat here, but I like the way they put on their straps and buckles. So it's just whatever I want to do with it. So I hope you guys like it. If you have made one in the past, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment box below. If you have any suggestions, in case I want to make another one, you know, recommendations, I would appreciate that as well. So let's get started. Well, I got about 8 pleats put in the kilt. So I talked to my daughter and we decided to do things a little differently. And so now I have to take out the 8 pleats and start over. So let's get started with that. Okay, I took all the pins out, and instead of bringing just one line over to the next line like this, I'm going to make the pleats twice as big. And the reason why, and it's just in my own head, I'm feeling like if the kilt is the weight of just a regular skirt, then it kind of just reminds me of a skirt. So I wanted to keep make the back of the kilt thicker the way it probably would have been originally. Again, that's just my thoughts on it. It's not anything that I looked up and said it had to be this way. So what I had to take it out because, number one, the pleats were too small, And then I realized there's a right side and a wrong side to the fabric. And so this is the right side, this is the wrong side. And so I'm making the pleats bigger so it'll add more weight to the back. And then on this end, this is the selvage. This is kind of a loose thread, but I'm going to use this as the hem. I did have the opportunity to look at a kilt while I was in South Carolina, and they are not hemmed. They are woven all the way down to the hem like this. And it makes sense because if you're overlapping, so you have fabric here, the overlap, and then the other overlap. So that's 3 layers, and if you're folding your hem up, that's a lot of thickness down there. So I am just going to use this as the hem. I'm not touching it, I'm not cutting it off, I'm not folding it up. I'm just gonna leave it like this. So I am going to get started on making the larger pleats. And then it looks like it's going to be 23 for the front, 23 for the back, and then 23 for the front again for the overlap. The outer layer might be a little bit shorter, not shorter, narrower, not quite 23, so that it would come, the buckles would not be exactly on the side seam, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to get started on this. And so the pleats only have to equal 23 inches. So I don't know how many pleats that's going to be. This video is taking a little longer than I had hoped. After moving, it takes a little time to adjust to a new place and a new routine. But I think I finally figured out how to pleat this tartan fabric the way I want, using 1 to 1.5 inch pleats, but still keeping the plaid uninterrupted around the whole kilt. So lots of trial and error, as you can see, but I'm hoping that it works out this time. Now, I think one of my problems was I was trying to pleat the whole fabric, but because I didn't really want to cut it unless I had to, but I think I have to. So I'm going to, the kilt needs to be 26 inches long. So I'm going to cut it 27 to allow for the waist to be turned under, because I will put some kind of lining in the top. So I'm going to start there and then go measure in 23 inches, start the pleating, have 23 inches of pleating, and then have another 23 or 20 inches of just the flat fabric to do the overlap. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, so my mat, I'm using my mat to measure it. So it needs to be 27 inches from here to here. Now, I think I explained earlier, I don't remember because it takes me days to record this. This is the edge of the fabric, the selvage, and I don't know if I'm supposed to use that as the hem, but I'm going to anyway. I think I explained it earlier. So I'm just going to measure up 27 inches, and that puts me right at the top of this top blue line that you can probably barely see, but I can see it. So I am going to take this and I'm going to cut it all the way across the full length of the fabric, I think. Okay, I hope this angle is okay. I haven't figured out how I'm going to set everything up in this new place. I want to do the fringe, but I noticed that it's not cut really straight along this edge. So I started the fringe right here and it looks okay, but I noticed that it's shorter here. So I have fringe here, I don't have fringe here. So I need to cut this straight across. So I'm going to have to straighten it up. And it's really hard on my eyes to see the blue and the green or black or whatever it is in there side by side. It's kind of hard to see the line that separates those colors. So I am going to do it like this. Let's do it like this since I'm right-handed. Okay, so now I am just going to work this edge here, pulling these threads off. That will create the fringe, and then I'll take a stitch all the way down across here so that it won't keep unraveling. It'll give me as much fringe. If I want a 1/2 inch fringe, it'll give me that. But because I have a stitch there, it'll prevent it from continuing on and getting larger. Okay, I think I figured out how I'm going to do it. Whether it's correct or not, I don't know, because I've never done this before. Okay, so what I did was I took the line between these two blue lines and I brought it up to the center of this blue line. And the reason why I'm doing it this way, why not the whole thing, is because the pleats weren't coming out even. So I pinned it here. I'm not going to pin it all the way across. I'm just going to show you how I did it because I have 3 pleats up there. And I'm pinning the white stripes. Because those are the most visible, and I want to make sure that when you're looking at it, your eyes aren't running across the white and you go, oh look, it's offset. So then I took this white line here and I brought it up and covered this white line. So it looks like it's just one white line. And then I pin it in place. And I'll do that all the way across this way. And then I take the center of these 2 blue lines again and bring it up to the center of these 2 lines. That way the pleats are the same width. So I did that. Now here are the pleats that I did, and I still have a lot more to do. So I'm just going to keep working them over that way until I get 23 inches of pleating. Okay, I finished the pleating last night and it looks pretty good. This right here is actually a crease, so that'll be worked out when I press it. You can see the different creases in here. So I think when I press it, this will flatten and look a little better. But I think overall it looks good. I am doing this in 2 different parts because I really don't have the storage on my phone to put a big video on. and I'm still waiting for the buckles and the straps to put on. So I have videos that I'm recording for my vlog playlist, so I'll be uploading those in between part 1 and part 2. So that's the end of part 1. I'll see you guys in the next video.